Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date if they didn't have kids. Let me read that again. Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date
if the women didn't have kids.
If they didn't have kids.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
It's horrible.
That's techie.
Yeah.
That's facts though.
So this chick basically says, do you think Ciara would date Russell Wilson if she did not have a son with Future? And the answer is no. Most men who do not practice lying to women will tell you that they don't believe that Ciara would date Russell Wilson if she didn't have any kids. The reason for that is Russell Wilson is considered corny to a lot of women. They won't be honest about it right now because they like Ciara and they like the pairing. But realistically, prior to the whole Ciara situation, he was considered corny and most women were not checking for Russell Wilson. I'm not saying that Russell Wilson, an NFL player, couldn't pull any girls. It's just that a lot of them thought he was corny. Now, Ciara, I can't see Ciara dating Russell Wilson if she didn't date Future first. A lot of people will say, well, she learned from her mistake with Future. No, she became a single mom and she said, you know what? Let me pick the best option for me. And it happened to be Russell Wilson. Nobody hates Russell Wilson, though. Y'all need to stop that narrative. So when it comes to the message from the original video, I do agree with the message, but only for some women. I don't think it applies to all women. So if you hear it and you get angry, then you're probably one of those women that definitely, prior to having kids, really had super high standards. And then after you had the kids, or if you had a kid, you lowered your standards. And then you're like, oh, it's okay to date a guy that's fat or isn't as handsome or just really isn't your type, but he's a great person. That's what they're talking about. But I don't feel like every single mom is that particular person and just is basically dating down because of their position of having a child. But it definitely is a thing.
It was too corny for me. Like, tell me sit down. Tell me stop going out.
God.
You know, don't put your hands on me, but put your foot down. Like, every time I want to go out, I can go out. Anytime I want to, I can, whatever, do it.
Did you marry him and he was corny?
I did, because I had a son and I wanted him to have a family, and I don't have a family. It's just been my mama, my brother, my sister, and just my strong
Was that his
ass.
son?
I'm sorry, this fucked up.
You make
Do you
him
hear
happy.
what you're saying?
What am I saying?
This is why niggas dog women.
So that last video is easily the worst case scenario for a stepdad. She got with him because she wanted him to raise her son, not because she was attracted to him and felt like this is somebody that she can marry and stay married to. So ultimately, she left somebody who I see as a Russell Wilson based on the way she described him. She's complaining because this dude allowed her freedom to go out as opposed to being upset about it and saying, hey, where you're going. Now she's talking about, oh, he should have put his foot down. And she called him corny. And, you know, when people say that guys like Russell Wilson are corny, it's usually not just from the men, it's from the women too. Like, it's weird that a lot of people want to raise their sons to be gentlemen, but sometimes if you're a gentleman to the wrong woman, you're going to be listed as corny. And it's not just Russell Wilson, because they also call Michael B. Jordan corny too. And you would think Michael B. Jordan, big time actor, muscles, he should get all the girls, and he probably does get all the girls, but some women find him corny, mostly black women. I don't know if women of other races find him corny, but black women were saying that Michael B. Jordan is corny. And to me, he just seems like a good dude like Russell Wilson. So I don't really understand, like, what's this obsession with women calling men corny, but corny guys that they're calling corny are usually good men. So make it make sense. But this is what we talk about when we talk about stepdads being used. A lot of times people call stepdads simps because they get into situations like this where they put a woman on a pedestal and then they're not getting it reciprocated. And that's why you see men running around talking about the soft guy era. It's not because men want to act like women. It's because they want to make sure that the men who are treating their women well are also getting the same treatment. Nothing outside of that. Yes, they might troll, but women just can't take jokes because it's at their expense, which is crazy, because if you're a good woman, that should not offend you. If you're a bad woman, then get offended by stuff like that. Get offended by satire because you are a bad woman.